Ready to start your journey? Whether it's your first workout or you are a seasoned athlete, Endurance for Everyone Coaching wants to work with you. Our coaching team has worked with athletes from beginners to USAT national qualifiers and are comprised of experienced runners, cyclists, and triathletes who have a passion for healthy living and have been where you are. We offer comprehensive coaching programs from weekly support to basic consultation, all designed to help you achieve your goals. If you want to take your performance to the next level, look no further than Endurance for Everyone Coaching. Go to www.teamE4E.com and click on the coaching link or send an email to teamE4E@enduranceforeveryone.com. And let's get started.
Welcome to this week's Endurance for Everyone podcast.
The following program is for entertainment purposes only. Though the hosts of this show are certified Ironman coaches, their attempts at long-course triathlons and endurance events should not be taken as an endorsement for you to do something stupid too. You should make your own bad decisions, then podcast about it. Now, let's start the show.
Hey, this is John Harris.
And this is Rob Bozovich.
And Endurance is for Everyone, and this is the Endurance for Everyone podcast. All right, welcome to episode 125 of Endurance for Everyone podcast. This is John, and Rob is up there in Pennsylvania, and we have another guest who was just recently on, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that surprise he dropped at the end of the show. So welcome, VINNIE Tortorich.
Hey, thanks for having me, John, Rob.
Hey. No, we're always glad to have you, especially, and we've been talking about this little surprise for a while on the show and in our Facebook groups and everything. So, we're going to get going on that. So, why don't you go ahead and kind of tell them what's going on in your own words?
Well, look, every time any documentary comes out around health, or as I like to call it, the religion of health, people get very religious about what we eat. Paleo is a religion. Vegan is a religion. Calorie in, calorie out has become its own religion, and so on and so forth. And you could just sit there and there's religions in between, right? And people get really hung up on this stuff. And it's like, and look, if you said to me right now, all right, we're going to do a debate. We want you to debate for veganism. Right? I could take veganism and convince you in 1 hour. Me, I know I've been doing this for 37 years. I could sit there and convince you that veganism is the only way to go. I can do that. And then if you said, okay, now for the next hour, we want you to take the paleo side. I can then take that same group and convince them that I was wrong about veganism. Right? And you will go, how can you do that? It's like, it's easy. I was lying on the veganism side.
Right.
I could create the same lies that they create. But then again, not everything is kosher on the paleo side either. So there's that. It kind of goes back and forth, right? So the question becomes, well, where does the truth lie? Where do we find the truth? And the truth is somewhere in between. And that's what I've always talked about. You can almost get away with the vegan. As I've always said, people go, oh, you're such a kidder. I'll say you can get away with the vegan diet as long as you eat some meat. People go, oh, you. And it's like, no, really, think about it. We should be eating meat and vegetables. That's it. People, where does fruit fall in that? Well, if you're eating low glycemic fruit, I guess it's okay. What about heart healthy grains? Well, heart healthy grains are something that's just a term that was created by, Madison Avenue. Yeah. Just like a lot of things were created by Madison Avenue. There was a time when, we considered grains, back in the time of the Roman times when they had gladiators, we would like to think gladiators were ripped out. right? And all that, but they weren't. Gladiators would eat a lot of grains to put on a layer of fat. So that when they were out there fighting with knives, they would have that fat protecting their organs underneath. That's a fact. So then you get down to these movies, right? You have, movies like Forks Over Knives, the Engine 2 Diet, the Esselsteins come out with movies, and, Cowspiracy. And recently, this movie, what was it called? What the Health?
What the Health, yeah.
Every time these movies come out, people go, whoa, am I going to die of a heart attack? I've been eating meat. Oh, my God, oh, my God. No, you're not going to die of a heart attack. As a matter of fact, you're going to get healthier by eating meat. But they said if I even look at an egg, an egg I will explode. And it's like, yeah, it's vegan propaganda. It's a problem. It's a problem because they're willing to lie. And I'm not willing to lie. So then you start getting the backlash. People, after that last movie came out, so many people came out of the woodworks with, we need to do the other movie. We need to do the other side. Well, I have a problem with that because, I'm not going to sit there and just lie and say, hey, this, that, and the other thing, because the vegans lied in that direction. I'm not going to try to swing the pendulum back by lying. I just want to get the truth out there. And every time I've tried to do that, in order to do a documentary, you need a lot of money. I don't personally have a lot of money. I would if I stopped giving everything away for free, but I can't seem to stop doing that. So whenever I go to the powers that be to get money, they would go, yeah, but we want you to make it our documentary. So I'm just going to make up stuff. So if I go to the Beef Council, right, and they gave me the money to do a documentary, well, the vegans will just look at that and go, of course he said eat meat. It was backed by the beef people, right? If I got the Egg Council to give me money or the egg farmers to give me money, they would go, of course he did that. It's the eggs, So we came up with this idea to fund the movie ourselves through IndieGoGo, let the fans put the money up, and then go and get everyone to be part of it. Now, I will invite any vegan doctors on. Ever since I decided to do this, I said, people have been calling me. You would be shocked at the who's who list of people who have already called me to be part of this.
Good.
I haven't released any of the names yet. I did mention Rangan Chatterjee because we mentioned it on the show, and I will be interviewing him soon for the movie. But besides Rangan, there's a who's list of people that want to be in this. The tough part is going to be to get the vegan doctors to come on, which I want to have. I'm not going to yell at them. I'm not going to debate them. I just want their side of the story. Now, when a vegan doctor, let's say I got Grieger on, which I would love to have on because I've been yelling about him for years. I would love to have a real conversation with him. I'd love to sit across from him. When he says that if you eat meat or you eat dairy, your body fills with pus, I want to ask him honestly, where is this pus? Because I eat meat every day. I eat dairy every day. I eat eggs every day. Why am I not dying from emphysema? Because he claims that an egg is like smoking 5 cigarettes.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm eating somewhere between 5 and 6 eggs a day. I'm smoking over a pack a day. Shouldn't I have emphysema? Shouldn't I have heart disease? And where's all this pus? I'm a very lean 55-year-old man. I can't seem to have. I ask my doctor all the time when I go in, do I have pus in my body? And she goes, what are you talking about? I don't know. I just heard a vegan doctor tell me I should have pus in my body. So I want to ask that question. I want to ask vegan doctors that if exogenous B12 did not exist, how does a vegan get B12? Right? Where does that come from? And don't tell me you get it from the dirt on the vegetables. That's not a reliable source. And it's not enough. I have a lot of questions for him, but I also want to hear the side of the story. And I will not let them roll over me like they do to poor Jimmy Moore and some of these people.
Yeah.
So, I will ask real questions and I expect real answers. And the audience can decide where things lay.
Well, I know that, I had my own little run-in with Jimmy Moore a long time ago, honestly.
Really?
But, oh, yeah. He had, because I don't know if you know this, I had thyroid cancer, so I have no thyroid gland at all. And he had written on one of his pages back probably in 2013 or so, and he had written on about how you eat these vegetables, it'll re-kick your thyroid gland into gear, all this stuff. And I just asked the question. I said, okay, that's great. What if you don't have a thyroid gland? What do you do then? And he said something back, and I said, well, I have cancer. I had cancer. I have no gland. He says, well, his answer to me was, well, you're all good then. I was like, what? and I wasn't the only one that shot back at him real quick at that, but he actually wrote me a big long email of apology and said he didn't mean to come off like, like that. But, that's kind of the mannerisms. Not to drop any other names, but Rich Roll, kind of rolled over with somebody too. The fruit guy when he had him on that one. Oh, what's his name? Durian Ryder? Somebody like that?
Yeah. Isn't that guy in jail now? Something?
Is he? I don't know. He should be. But yeah, he had him on the show and kind of like let him off easy. And I kind of said, what the hell are you doing, man? You should have jumped all over him about that stuff.
Well, because they're scared of those guys. Look, the only reason I even knew about that guy was because out of nowhere, he started hammering me. And I was like, who is this guy? And he's just some loser guy from Australia. Yeah. And I looked around on the internet to see who he was. And I went, oh, I get it. Yeah. It was right around the time I started gaining popularity on the internet. Yeah. And I looked at what he was doing and I went, okay, I see what his game is. Go find people who are getting popular and then try to hitch onto their train. Even if you're doing it in a negative way, just hitch onto that train and then, you get to ride that train. It's a very, I guess, it's a very unique way to get popular on the internet. It's loserville, if you ask me. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It just
is.
is.
I guess it worked. He got on a few podcasts. It didn't work
with me. But I'm sure Rich is. I've known Rich Roll for a long time. Speaking of vegan, and he's a good guy, and Rich doesn't like to cause conflict.
Yeah.
So he's not going to yell at someone.
Yeah. And then that was basically his answer, is that he wanted him to just give his story and then he didn't really want to push him or get into an argument with him on the podcast. But I was a little disappointed in it. But that was, like I said, that was a long time ago. But so I really, what Rob said earlier, I really hope that you can get some of these, the vegan side, the vegetarian side onto that documentary, because then I hate for it to come across like one-sided, Go ahead.
Right. You were talking about Michael Ornstein, who's not a doctor or a scientist. He was just a guy that Sanjay Gupta, had on national television saying, I eat 20 pounds of vegetation a day. And I went, okay, I had a horse at one time. My horse only ate 18 pounds of vegetation and he weighed 1,400 pounds. How can a 140-pound man, 1/10 the size of my horse, eat that much vegetation? So that's why I had him on. If anyone goes back and listens to the interview, I was not goofing on the man. I was trying to get to the bottom of it. And you're correct, Rob. You remember very well. I said, Michael, you could come clean right now and explain that CNN got it wrong, and maybe you were embarrassed to say, maybe you were eating 2 pounds of vegetation a day, not 20. And he goes, oh, no, yeah, they did get it wrong. I eat 50 pounds per day.
He doubled down.
Yeah, he more than doubled down.
Yeah.
So Anna and I were looking at each other. That was back when Anna and I used to be in the same studio, and we're looking at each other going, 50? What are you talking about? And at some point, he just got angry. He thought, I don't know what he thought. If you listen to the interview, I'm just trying to figure out how you manage 50 pounds of fruit a day.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
One of the things he did was I said, okay, how do you get all of this food to work? First off, he couldn't explain to me what he did for a living. And second off, he lied and said, look, he kept going, I don't have a horse in a race. I don't make money on this. I don't. And it turns out he was making $1 million a year by holding these camps where people would pay like $2,000 for a week. And he would do 2 or 3 one-week sessions where people would go be fruitarians out in the Catskills somewhere for a week. And we did the math, and it was like, okay, you're grossing over $1 million, or $2 million, or some weird number. So you lied about that too. And when I tried to ask you what you did for a living and how you ran to work every day, how did the food end up at work? I was just trying to figure out logistics. And I guess he thought I was quite, I guess he thought I was challenging his lies. I was just trying to figure out, do you go every Saturday with a truckload of watermelons and drop them off at work? How do you keep them fresh? What do you do? Is that a stupid question? Is that an inflammatory question?
I don't either. I think it was, I remember that show well. And what was irritating me about the whole show was that he wouldn't answer the damn question, just with anything. So I thought they were valid questions.
John, he would answer it the way vegans answer questions sometimes. He would go, well, what, I'm supposed to go eat McDonald's? Is McDonald's, is that what you said I should eat? I was like, no. I want to know how you're eating 50 pounds of fruit a day.
Yeah.
My horse is eating and shitting at the same time. What are you doing? Yeah. How does that work?
The only thing I could think of is that, I don't want to answer for him, for God's sakes, but I was watching a documentary the other day called That Sugar Film. Have you seen that one?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. And the way he was describing it is that to get that much sugar, he was talking about 40 teaspoons of sugar a day, that he had the big cylinder, and he said, I'd have to eat this many kiwis and this many oranges, and he just kept filling it up, but you could condense that down into one glass. And it was all this fruit and all this stuff down to one glass. And that's the only way I could think he did it. But, I'm sure that's what he was doing, but
I'm sure there would have to be a lot of blending going on.
Yeah, there'd have to be. Yeah.
But 50 pounds?
Yeah, that's
crazy. I challenge either one of you today to go do 10 pounds of vegetables or fruit in a blender and see how you feel.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw up. Yeah. So, and by the way, speaking of the other guy being in trouble, I think the other guy was beating his girlfriend. The guy. I don't want to disparage anyone, but I think I read this other guy. I think Ornstein is in jail now too.
Yeah.
For defending the government or something.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, so all of these guys, these charlatans are out there lying and the whole thing. But look, let's pass that. I want to do a movie where I'm talking to these people and figuring out what the hell is going on and how they can say what they can say. Tell me how an egg is a 70 on the glycemic scale, because those are not my words, that's their words, right? So explain to me how that becomes a thing. I need to know, because an egg is a... Yeah, and by the way, I had Dr. Robert Lustig on my show, and I asked him about Grieger. And I said, what do you think about Grieger? And, doctors don't like to put other doctors down. There's this kind of honor amongst thieves.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, these doctors have a point. There's nothing really wrong with veganism and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, he says that an egg will cause type 2 diabetes and that it's 70 on the glycemic scale. Mm-hmm. And Rusty, it was straight silence. He goes, "Really? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what he says." And he goes, "I don't know about that." You know, I want to ask these real questions. If you guys are going to make these grandiose statements, I want to know where they come from. You know, that's all we're trying to do.
Right.
They won't. I got a feeling a lot of them will turn me down, and we've already decided we're going to do that old trope where we're going to show the emails we sent. We're going to put them up on the screen, on the black screen, and go, "We've tried to get Dr. Ornstein 10 times. We did these 10 things. We tried to get McDougall 10 times. We did these 10 things. We tried to get Michael Grieger. We tried to get Clapper. We tried to get Esselstyn." We will show the number of times, and I'll probably do that old trope where you see me sitting there in a room on my cell phone with, the thing on where I'm going, can we speak to Dr. Grieger? And it'll be on speaker, and the girl's going, "He's busy right now." "Yes, this is my 8th phone call. Can you have him call Vinnie Tortorich?" And they hang up, and you go, "Oh, they hung up on." We'll probably do that as an homage to what the vegan docs do. I'm planning on doing a bunch of that type of stuff. But in all honesty, I'm quite convinced that I could get some of them to show up. I really feel like, hey, look, guys, I have major. Wait, by the way, can you guys hear my dog barking in the background?
Very low, very low. It's okay though.
Because I could go, can we put this on hold for just a second? Because she's probably stuck somewhere. I have a blind dog.
Sure. Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, guys. Let me just go see where she's stuck. We're back?
We're back.
Sorry, I have a deaf and blind dog, and when she gets stuck in a corner somewhere, she gets upset, and she'll just keep barking until someone comes and moves her out of the corner.
I got this visual. I'm sorry. Oh, this dog
it's
stuck
very
in the
sad,
corner.
but she still has a lot of life in her, and people, you guys should put that dog down. It's like somebody should put you down for saying that.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, I want these vegan doctors to come on and explain themselves. I doubt they will come on because they do. Some of them will. And I'm hoping to get more than not. But to answer the other part of your question, Rob, which is a very good question, people like Tim Noakes and Rangan Chatterjee and Gary Fetke and Gary Taubes and Nina Teicholz, these people don't have agendas. These people were following. I mean, Tim Noakes would be the first to tell you, he was telling people to eat heart healthy grains if you want to be a runner. Mm-hmm. The guy is one of the top doctors, and scientists when it comes to athletics in the world. And, he was telling people to do that for years until he just realized it wasn't working. And he saw a different way, and the science just didn't prove out what he was telling people to do. He had the cojones to go and change and do something else. Nina Teicholz, before she wrote Big Fat Surprise, literally took 10 years and studied one subject to try to find the truth. And what she kept coming up with is all of these studies showing over and over and over that saturated fat never caused one heart disease to happen. Yet that science is always buried. And all we're trying to do is show the science. And I have heart surgeons ready to come on, people like Dr. Scheer, who, he's a cardiac surgeon, and he wants to show that saturated fat never caused heart disease. And in fact, grains are a bigger problem. So all of these doctors are ready to come on and talk about this stuff, but realize, unlike the vegan side, these guys don't have agendas. They're not making money on this stuff, right? And I think that's the big difference. I don't have, what's my agenda? I'm just a guy who almost died of cancer, And I was like, wait a minute. I've been telling my clients to eat high fat for all these years, but I've been riding a bicycle and felt that I needed to eat all this sugar and grains while I was on the bicycle. I wasn't even taking my own advice until I did, And I want to talk about the people who I see it every day online. They'll go, well, I don't know who thinks they could be an athlete and propel themselves without any sugar going into their system. Hell, I've done 3 hours of aerobic activity today. I did 4 hours yesterday. In the past 24 hours, I've done 7 hours of aerobic activity, right? At a pretty high level. And I'm not taking in any sugar. So I'm not taking in any carbs of any sort. I'm in dietary ketosis. They're saying I'm not supposed to be able to do that.
Right. Well, I just had well, Rob said earlier, we're doing these little sprints now that we do, like these little 10, 15-minute shows on our own throughout the week, in addition to this show. And I had one that came out yesterday. I was talking about that same thing, is that what really gets on my nerves is these runners that some, not Rob, but some that I actually coach, are telling me that they have to have sugar to run marathons, that they can't run a marathon without any sugar, that they have to have it. And I keep wanting to, where are you getting this from? That's not true. Where do you think they got it? How do you think these people ran marathons 10,000 years ago? They weren't eating sugar then. So why do you need it now?
John, even in the 70s, when you would go out to a marathon, and it was the early days of marathons, there was nothing but water tables about every 5th or 7th mile.
Exactly.
There was 3 water tables where you grab a water and drink it and keep going. That was it. Nobody had a fuel belt on them. Nobody had hydration packs. None of that stuff existed. There was no power bars, Gatorades, none of that stuff. And people just ran marathons. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because they were eating more meat. Mm-hmm. They were just eating meat. They weren't carbing up the night before.
Yeah.
It's crazy talk.
Well, right. I got one that goes out for an hour and a half run and has got like a camelback on his back. It's like, it's an hour and a half. You don't even need water. I do that in Florida, and it's a lot hotter here than where he's at. And, and I'm not carrying water with me. So I just don't get it. But
Serena and I went for a 4-hour hike yesterday, as I was just mentioning. I was carrying a rucksack that weighed just under 30 pounds because I'm training for Whitney. And we went, the grade was somewhere between 14 and 18% for 4 miles. And it was 95 degrees where we were. Mm-hmm. And this canister right here, can you see it? Yeah. It holds 40 ounces of liquid. We had this full of water. Mm-hmm. So 2 adults got through 4 hours of hiking in 98-degree temperatures on 40 ounces.
Right.
Period.
Right.
There was no camelback. There was no hydration. We didn't have a fuel belt. We didn't even bring, as a matter of fact, I threw some macadamia nuts in the pack. We didn't even eat them.
Yeah.
On the way back, we got to the car. Serena goes, you got anything in that pack? I went, besides dumbbells? And I went, yeah, I threw some nuts in there. We enjoyed them on the way home in the car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very frustrating. I mean, it gets to the point that I can't even discuss it. I had someone tell me just today that sugar was natural because it's grown in sugar cane. So if you eat it off of sugar cane, it should be okay. And really? And I went back at her and I said, no, I'm just going to let that lie. This is not worth it. It was in a business meeting. So it's like,
John, I remember.
Yeah, right.
About 10, 15 years ago, all of a sudden, agave syrup was everywhere. Oh, agave syrup is healthier for you than sugar. I'm like, no, it's sugar. No matter how you look at it, it's sugar. Agave syrup.
What was I? I was just looking at something the other day. Something my friend Nancy had, and it said because she's trying to like really get buckled down and everything now, and she looked at it and said sugar free, and I said, or no added sugar. That's what it said. And I said, well, look at the ingredients, because I knew what it said, and the third thing on the ingredients was honey.
Yeah,
but it said no sugar.
No sugar.
Well, there you go. What? Not only did it say honey, it said sucralose too after that. So well, there's sugar in this. Well, why were they saying there's no sugar in it? It's like, well, there you go. That's why you got to read.
Government allows them to lie. I mean, we've identified, I think, somewhere near 70 other names for sugar in food that's not exactly sugar.
Right.
Crazy.
And they split it up so that it doesn't, like, if they put it all together, then it'd be the number one ingredient. So they split it up so they can throw it down on the ingredient list a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? So, that's all the tricks. But you know what? When people want to eat sugar, they will argue. They will argue. And it's just not worth it to me. Sometimes I just, if you want to learn, you want to learn. But if you're not gonna give me a chance to like really tell you how this works, then I'm not going to waste my time anymore. I don't know how you do it.
Well, I just don't. The other day we met this woman. We were buying something from her. Serena had gotten her. Serena had something made by this woman, super nice woman, and somehow she started talking to me about my website and the whole thing. And she goes, "Well, I'm a vegan," and I went, "Okay," and then she wanted to, ask me questions. I said, "Look, it doesn't matter. How long have you been a vegan?" She goes, 10 years. I said, "Nothing I can say to you is going to change your mind."
Right.
And she goes, "Well, try me." And I said, "No, because I like you. And this is going to turn into an argument." I said, "If you want to, I have a free PDF at VinnieTortoRich.com. Go look at that. And if you have questions after that, if you're genuinely interested, give me a call. I'll talk to you for free. Buy stuff from you, and I like you. And, but if you're genuinely interested, let me know. Otherwise, I don't have time. I really don't.
And that's kind of the bent I take now is like, I will answer your questions, but if you're going to come into it that we're going to argue, then I just don't have time for it. It's kind of like, it's almost like politics, it's like, I'm not going to change your mind if that's what you believe. I'm not going to change your mind. Rob's smiling because he knows we've had this discussion offline a lot. I'm not going to change your mind. So I'm not going to, why talk about this anymore?
Nobody's going to change anyone's mind about it.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw, see, normally I can't see him grinning over there. Now I can see him grinning. So
he's winking. I'd love to know on what side of what with you. Obviously, you guys are on different sides. Is that it?
Yeah, we are. Well, look, I think we're not going to get into it, but I think it's very obvious. He's from the hills in Pennsylvania. I'm from Florida. Where do you think we land?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
So you're a Democrat, is what you're telling me.
Not in the least. I almost think there's three parties now. There's Republicans, Democrats, and Trump supporters. I think they're a whole different breed.
I prefer not to have a political discussion, but when I saw the Virginia Tech thing behind you, I just assumed. Oh. But she went to Virginia Tech, which is like 13th grade. Is that what that is?
Oh, now see, Nancy's going to hear that too. She went to Virginia Tech. So it's like, you're just going to make all kinds of fans there.
Anna Pacino and I just goof around all the time. She talks about Emory. I talk about Tulane.
Exactly.
But you know what? They're all good schools. I don't think there are any bad schools anymore.
Right. There really aren't. And they're almost all the same, as far as, I went to UCF and USF. Dom DiAgostino. I mean, he's on where I went to school. Got my MBA there. So I keep forgetting he's local. Whenever his name comes up, it's all right. Just go down the street.
Yeah, he's not far from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys want to talk about the IndieGoGo campaign at all?
We do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Well, if we get over 100, we're going to start. We're going to start interviewing people now. And if I lose the money on that, I'm going to have to pay the cameraman out of my pocket. These people can't work for free.
Right.
So I'm going to have to, we're not going to color correct it and all that stuff. But cameramen, you got to pay. When they go to work, you got to pay them that day. Right. So I'm going to be thousands of dollars out of my pocket, but I'm already interviewing some people. But I told we get to 100, 110 bottom line. we are going to start this, and I'll just worry about figuring out where the money will come after that. If I got to put it on credit cards or do anything like that, I will get this movie made. And I'm hell bent on doing it for 150. So I'm willing to put my own money into it. I think today we came up on 1 week, right? I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but as of right now, today is Monday the 14th. I'm looking right now, we're at 6. Okay. So right now, today, we're at 65,546. So that's 44% of our goal in the first week. Now, does that, and look, it's kind of like weight loss. When people lose 20 pounds the first week, they go, oh, all right, I only have 80 pounds to lose. So another few weeks and I'll be done. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
With my understanding of these IndieGoGo pages is all of your big time fans come in at first. They all give what they're going to give. And then it's like this long, slow kind of, march into trying to get people to donate. And that's where we are now. At first, we were getting like 7,000 or 8,000 a day, 10,000 a day. Now we're getting just a few thousand a day. And it's supposed to continue to slow down. I'm told that right at the end, people go, holy shit, he's not going to make it. Let's give money. And then they come back around. So hopefully that will be the case, because we're not there yet. We're at 44% of our goal of 150,000. And we need to get there. By hook or by crook, as they say, we need to get there. And, we're hoping that people will back us. Now, here's the number I'm more concerned with. And you guys tell me if I'm an asshole for even mentioning this. People call me an asshole all the time, but
yeah, not because of that.
As of right now, we have 947 backers.
There you go.
That seems like a low number to me.
Yeah, to me too.
Because we have, look, we know that we've helped tens of thousands of people lose millions of pounds. I see just a number. There's a Facebook group with my name on it that I don't own that's got 22,000 people in it.
Exactly.
My Twitter account that I spend all day on has 20-something thousand people in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have my Vinnie. It's called Vinnie's Athletes page, and there's got to be 20,000 people in that, right? Every time a new show comes out on my podcast, immediately the immediate downloads on the show right when it comes out is 30,000+ people, and then it builds up through the next day and the day after that to be a lot. So I'm a little shocked that it's 947 people. I get that not a lot of people have money, but for God's sake, a lot of people got $5. I know this because I see you guys in Starbucks. And that's what a coffee costs at Starbucks.
Vin, you're making the same argument I made a while ago and Rob made Rob's eyes crossed when I said, even in our group, and we're nowhere near your level, but we have 600 and almost 700 people, and we're trying to raise money, or I'm trying to raise money for team and training or something like that. And I said, all I need is like $5 from everybody, and I can't get it. I can count on one hand how many people in the group, actually not including Rob. Yeah, Rob was one of them. But and I said the same thing. It amazes me how you can have that. That's what shocked me, honestly, when I looked at your page and I said 947 people. He's got like 30,000 people following him. Even if you just got $10 from everybody, you got it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, look. 5 people. 23 people have given $5.
Yeah.
I would have thought that number would have been 1,000 people by now.
Yeah.
Right. 26 people have given $15.
Yeah.
Here's the big number. 388 people have given $25. So that's the biggest category given, right?
25 seems to be a good number, because that's usually what I get. 25.
The magic number.
What I'll get. That's a magic number. Yeah.
But look at this. $50. We've had over 130, not over 100. We've had 113 people give $50.
Yeah.
30 people gave 85. Here is a shocking number.
Yeah.
$100. Almost 200 people have given $100.
Yeah.
But wait, we have two more $100. We have $300 prizes. So if you add them all up, it's like 225 or so people that have given $100.
I want to know who these 4 people are that are getting that signed conch shell.
Me too. That's
and for people listening, you got to go to the site to see what I'm talking about. But there's a little picture above that would be interesting
go to
to see.
IndieGoGo. I'm signing conch shells, and that idea came from when I go places now. I travel a lot, and what I'll do is at the last minute before I travel, I'll go, hey, I'll be in Seattle this weekend. If you guys want to come meet me at the Westin Hotel for a quick drink Saturday evening, because whenever I'm traveling for business, and I'm bored silly, and I put it out there, and sometimes there's 2 or 3 fans, sometimes there's 15 or 20 fans. And the last time we were in Seattle a couple of weeks ago for the coffee convention, a girl showed up with a conch shell and a Sharpie and said, would you sign my conch shell?
Nice.
And that's where the idea came from.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I
An actual shell, yeah. I don't own that photo.
Wait, were there conch shells in that photo? I didn't. Wow, no, there is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, look, I don't even own that photo. That was done for back when I was young and I was modeling. That was done for a shoot, for something. That photo actually went worldwide. It was in W Magazine, Women's Wear Daily, which is the ultimate magazine for fashion. And that photo became a thing back in the early 90s for a long time. Mm-hmm. Now I'll look back on it and go, wow, man, I wish I could look like that today. You know what I mean? Back then I was like down and hard on myself going, I'm not built up enough. Now I'll look at it and go, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. Yeah. I looked at a picture of myself the other day, right when I got out of the service, and I was maybe 190, 200 pounds. And I thought I was fat then, It's
crazy, right?
Yeah. It's like, wow, I'd give anything to be 195 pounds again.
Yeah, we never know what we got until it's gone.
That's right. That's right. So says Cinderella.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm happy for everyone who's donated, but I was shocked. I thought that, if we get 20,000 people to donate $5, good. We're golden. Right. Right. But that has not happened yet. And I'm not complaining. I'm so grateful. I'm shocked that we're at 65,000. I just thought that other number would look different.
Yeah, you thought. Well, you thought that the spread would be different for sure. You thought you'd have a lot more $5 and $10, $15 ones. I think you will get it near the end, though. I think it's going to start happening. I think that's true. What I noticed when I was doing mine, Fridays and Saturdays was always a big day because people got paid. And so I was always hit them on those days. That's when you would see it pop up on the Facebook group and things like that. So I kind of learned over the years that's when to do it, because then you're in their brain, and then do it right away. So yeah,
I agree. Look, I'm just interested to get to that halfway mark, that 50% mark.
Yeah. Well.
75.
Well, we've talked about it on the show, and I know I mentioned it even on my sprint, and I talk about it on the Facebook group as well. So we're trying to get it out there. We're very clear with our listeners that we definitely support this 100%, and that they need to go out there and support it as well. We only had one person that said she didn't like you.
Really? Who was that?
Should I say her name? I can't say her name.
Write it down and show me in the screen.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah. No, I'm okay. So I read a thing. Some guy wrote a whole post about me being boring or something the other day. I was like, that's interesting. And a bunch of people jumped in and went, yeah, he's horrible. We don't like him. I'm sitting there going, who does that?
You see it?
No, I see Rob's face right now for some reason. Let me see. Hang on. Hang on. All right, now move it a little bit.
because I'm trying. Oh, okay, it's in. Hold
on. Do I even know who she is?
I don't think you do. Yeah, I don't think you do. I don't know. And I said, well, my answer to that is, well, he's not everybody's cup of tea.
What was her problem with me? I'm looking her up on Facebook right now. Was that an I on the end of her name?
Yeah, that's a definite Italian name. But she's, but I don't always even understand that. That's the social media stuff that I don't understand. It's like, okay, so you don't agree. Why do you have to announce that you don't agree? It's kind of like the people that say, I'm done with this Facebook group, I'm leaving. Why do you have to announce it? Just leave. Just go. Why do you have to announce that you're going?
Well, I thought that was interesting. The other day I was in the group, the one with my name on it online, and I don't see her. Maybe I'm spelling. Hold her name up again, John.
Okay.
Maybe I'm spelling it wrong.
I may have spelled it wrong.
Oh wait, let me change that letter and see what happens. Let's see here. It says that John Harris is a friend.
Oh, there you go. See?
But it's not showing her. It just shows her post.
Okay, so I think she uses her last name, but only with the first two letters of it.
Let me try this. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't really even engage, into why or anything like that, because sometimes,
she's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a very interesting backstory that I can't really get onto up here, but very, very interesting. Very interesting lady.
Yeah. Was she injured, or someone she loved injured in this way?
Yeah. She.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She seems like a very nice woman. I'm looking at her here. She seems, good for her. I'm glad to see that she's done well.
She might be a vegetarian or vegan, so that might be part of it right there, Vin.
Look, I don't care when people hate me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but she looks like she's had a long road to get to where she is, and I'm proud of her.
Yeah,
happy for her. And by the way, the greatest accomplishment is not in never failing, but in never in rising again after the fall. That was by Vince Lombardi. So she and I have Vince Lombardi in common.
Yeah.
Man, look at her.
Yeah.
What an accomplishment.
Yeah. It's a very impressive story.
She's in her, I'm glad you brought her to my attention. Because she is quite, my God, she is quite the story. Hi, honey. I'm doing a podcast with John Harris and Rob Bozovich.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
Don't mention this woman's name. She hates me. And she was, she had that problem, and now she's doing that.
What problem?
She had an injury of sorts.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna make her famous.
That's okay.
Next week on Vinnie Tortorich.
I like to have her on my show. Even though she hates me.
Why does she hate you?
Who knows, honey? I didn't do anything. She just hates me.
How could she not?
People just go, I hate him, that type of thing.
You are eminently hateable.
Yeah.
And eminently lovable too.
Yeah, at the same time. Thanks, honey. I'll let Topsy. That's Topsy. Yeah. Hey, take it easy over there, Rob. Oh, you mean? Yeah. I gave this really nice ring. They want to see your ring again, honey.
Oh.
Yeah, we notice things like that.
Yeah. Rob's such a girl.
Rob's such a girl.
And that is how you do it.
Yeah.
That is how you do it.
That's how you get me to spend all of my money. If I had that money, I wouldn't have to beg for it.
I was just going to say it. There's your movie.
Hey,
It's fake.
It's cubic zirconian.
No, it's glass. It's not even CC.
It's not even a CZ.
Yeah. I'm a cheap bastard. No, she deserves everything she gets for putting up with me. But man, this woman who doesn't like me, I would love to have her on the show. She looks like an inspiration.
Honestly, I don't know if you know her background, Rob, but you should probably look into it too.
Well,
It's very interesting. She's in the group, so you could see her.
I'm going to go dig in deep on her after this because, wow. What?
Me and my mouth.
What a chick. To do what she's done is, I don't think that's an easy feat.
Yeah. She does a lot of work with the TBI Group too. So it's with veterans and everything too. So, I think that's how I ran into her.
Good on her, man.
Yeah. So
thanks for bringing it to my attention.
Of course. I always will point out people that don't like you, Vin.
Yeah, most people do.
Yeah, there's one.
Other people. There's another one. Yeah, look, I mean, my dad was a local politician when I was a kid, and he said, you're doing something right whenever half the people hate you.
Right.
Yeah. So
as a politician, no matter what you do, half the people hate you.
Yeah. Exactly. And he was very successful at that, helping people, and I'm proud of him. But yeah, whenever you start doing what I do, if you have half the people liking you, you're doing well. And I don't begrudge anyone who hates me. I don't care.
I said that to someone yesterday too. They said, we were talking about a friend and one of her friends, and she goes, well, he doesn't agree with your politics. I don't care what he agrees with my politics or not. I don't care.
It doesn't make a difference. It's that's what I always say. Someone goes, half the people out there hate you, and I go, wow, it's only half. All right, I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Can't complain. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Once they do.
They really hate you then.
Yeah. So, what else do we have to talk about, guys?
That's it. We're coming up on an hour. We want to make sure that people go to IndieGoGo.com, and I just went to it and I just put in the word fat and it came right up. So, go out and support the effort, even if it's just $5, everything. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just put in fat documentary. As soon as you put in fat DLC, it'll probably come up.
Right.
I put in F on my computer and it comes up.
Yeah.
Fatdocumentary.com will take you right to the IndieGoGo, and you can give. Let's see if anyone's given in the past 15 minutes since I looked it up. Someone just gave another $100, and now we're at 65,646. So, Look, I mean, it's going to be a long, arduous process, but I think we will get there because it's important that we get the truth out there. And I don't have a signed contract yet, but Adam Carolla's company, Chassis, is now, we had a meeting last week. They want to be the distributor of this. So
I had that.
Go on.
Yeah, I had that down on my list to ask you, actually, if you had a distributor or anything lined up yet, but that's good. Good to know.
Mean, we're putting the cart before the horse. I mean, after I was on Adam's show last week, his manager was so excited about this. He said, my God, we have to distribute this because they've seen all the good that's happened to Adam, Gina Grad over there, all the people that work around there are doing NSNG, and they've all lost a ton of weight. And they all drink beer, and they've all still lost weight. They're beer drinkers, a lot of those guys that work over there. And the manager went, my God, we have to be the distributors, which means if we actually get the money to do this, we will have top distribution on this. You'll see this on Amazon. You'll see it on Netflix. When you hop on an airplane, you'll see it. They get this stuff out everywhere. Yeah. So it's very important. for us to get the money we need to get it going. And then after we get it going, we will have a way to distribute all of this.
Okay, that's good to know. Good. So, so anything else, Rob? Well, once again, Vinny, we'll be checking in. We'll be checking in on periodically to see how it's going. But we're watching it every day too, and we're with you, man. You know, we believe in this mission that you're on. So.
And thank you. And look, I didn't mean to bag on anybody, but I really thought that we would have, to get to 65,000, I thought we would have had 2,000 backers.
Right.
65,000 with under 1,000 backers. And, you know, look, I don't know how any of this stuff works, but folks, I'm saying if you got $5 and that's all you have to give, please.
Give $5. Right.
Yeah, we'll take any amount you have. It doesn't have to be these fancy schmancy $25 contributions, $100 contributions, any amount you have hanging around. And go look at the perks. Some of these perks are pretty cool. You know, there's trucker hats, T-shirts. There's you get for $25. I think you get a download of the movie, so you get the movie.
Right. I think that's why you're getting a lot there too, because that's the one I looked at, to be honest.
Yeah, because that's the one where you go, wait a minute, you know, I get the digital download, but at $50 you get a booklet, a PDF with and extra features. So I think that's why that one has well over 100 people also, because it's going to have features that you can't get in the movie that only those people will get at that level.
Right.
So anyway, I'm going on. Right, let's see. At 100, you get digital download. You get the booklet, extra features. Yes, at 100, you get the extra features. You also get your name and credits, and you get either the T-shirt. One of the things has the trucker hat, and I think the other one has something else. Mm-hmm. Limited only to those people. So we're going to make as many as the people. So right now we've made like 130 of them. Okay. No, but only those people will get it. And there's going to be a really cool T-shirt. So folks, if you got $100 to spend, we will not make extra hats and T-shirts and that. We will only make them for those people, and a couple extra for me and Serena and Peter Pardini and so on and so forth. By the way, have you guys had Peter Pardini on this show to talk about this?
No, we have not.
Would you like to have him?
Yeah, I think we would.
Cool.
Yeah. So if we can get us his contact, get it to Rob maybe, and we can set that up. Rob tends to do the setups for us.
Cool. So you're lazy like me. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I just own the show. I'm the looks of the show.
So you're the talent. Okay, I was confused.
Yeah.
So now I know.
Yeah. So once again, thanks to Vinny and Rob. Once again, a pleasure as always. And we will talk again. And we'll talk again next week.
Thanks for listening to the Endurance for Everyone podcast. If you have comments or questions for the show, send an email to teamE4E at enduranceforeveryone.com. And remember, swim calm, bike strong, and run steady.